Primetime family, it's Seth Packin, and I am here with my man Braxton Wilson. He is the magician behind some of the best country festivals in the world. Braxton, thanks for joining us.
Man, thanks for having me. It's been a while.
Yeah, no problem, man. So tell us about these festivals you've put on and maybe some of the names of them and where they're located.
Yeah, dude. So we've had a journey here. So we started 8 years ago right now, Greenville Country Music Fest in South Carolina. We've expanded out to Georgia with Georgia Country Music Fest. We've hit recently the newest one down in St. Petersburg, Florida, St. Pete Country Fest. We're on our year two coming up in November. So super excited to have that one. But we've done festivals all over now, from producing them to owning them to talent buying, and it's really cool to see kind of how the last 8 years have evolved.
Absolutely. What can festival goers expect when coming to one of your festivals?
Yeah, so growing up in the scene, I've visited almost every festival of any caliber, and it's been really cool to put your eyes on the different things that I guess your customers and clients like to see, and kind of what draws them to keep coming back. And something that we pride ourselves on, and a lot of festivals still do it, and there's nothing against it, but I'm one of those guys. If you're going to a festival, you want to see as many artists as possible. You want to see the new guys that you might not have heard of before, and you want to see some of the biggest names in country music. So this year, just for an example, at St. Pete Country Fest, we're at 5 stages now. So you have two main stages, you have two acoustic stages, and you have like a truck bed stage. So it's cool. You get regional, you get local. You have, again, your newest guys that have just popped and might have one or two songs that blew up or went on TikTok and did numbers. And then you have your second stage of your B and C level artists that are just awesome, and they're starting to sell out clubs. They're doing the small amphitheaters. And then, of course, you're on your main stage, which it's really cool to also see, because we have a lot of artists, even a second year festival here, that were on our C stage last year, and now they're playing our B stage, and even some opening up main stage. So it's cool for me to see the growth that you trust and put into these artists at a very young age, and kind of watch them evolve through your festivals.
For sure. So when you're going through and maybe you're picking the artist, and like you said, you got some smaller stages, you got some bigger stages. Um, what do you recommend like fans to do when they're at these festivals? Do you recommend them to go hit those smaller stages as long with hitting the bigger stages as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a reason that these festivals are starting to put these newer guys on these stages. I hate to say it, but now ticket prices are getting so expensive, and how quickly these artists are growing. I mean, you can go see some of these artists on these secondary, third stages, acoustic stages, and you blink an eye and they're charging $99 for a lawn ticket at your closest amphitheater. So
Oh,
yeah, artists are important, a very important piece to a festival, but I think also kind of what builds it is the activations, the partners,
sure.
the photo ops that kind of are around the park, kind of this venue setting and kind of where your venue is located. Then the festival atmosphere is so different than the concert, because of the experience that you're getting, instead of just going there, having a few drinks, watching one or two artists, and then going home. It's an all day thing. And I know a lot of people complain, oh, it's so hot, or beers cost $8 or $9, $10. But at the end of the day, you're purchasing and supporting a festival. So what, you might as well get your money out of it, I guess, is a good way to.
Absolutely. Yes, no, that's so true. So how do you, or like, what are some maybe some brands you work with, or like how do you set up the activations as well?
Yeah, so I have a whole partnership team, and that's all they do. But I mean, one thing we go or we strive for is we want pieces that people are like, wow. And you go to Stagecoach, and you go to Coachella, and you go to ACL, and you go to some of the largest festivals in the country, and you see these things, and you're like, you feel like you're in a different space when you walk into them or when you're experiencing them. And that's something that we strive to be. I mean, we're only a 25,000 person a day festival for St. Petersburg, but um, we best way to put it is we take less money to get these brands to really pour into our festival,
For sure.
to bring their pieces. So, I mean, Anheuser-Busch is a big one that brings some of their big double deckers, and they're just really gung ho about it. We have some really cool boot brands now, and can't name one that's about to be announced, but you can come in and you can put your initials on the side of a boot, and you can decorate them with all the swag that these girls like putting on. And we have hat brands that you can go make your own patch, and you can go decorate, pick the color, pick kind of the brand that you want to wear. You have, I mean, there's 40 things, like I say, cowboy hats, and you have, of course, your standard, your Zins and your Ons, and your different things that again, that make a festival what it is by just being able to be there, going to experience those, walking in for 2 minutes and just saying hey and seeing what they have to offer. It's a cool piece that we do compliment ourselves on by trying to go above and beyond.
Absolutely. Yeah, and obviously I've been to some of your festivals and they're fantastic. And
Thanks,
you
man.
know, it's really cool because obviously you're there for the music and stuff, but there's a lot of things to do besides the music, you know. I think there was one year I was out there and y'all had like a little rodeo going on of some sort.
Dude, yeah, that's kind of Greenville's bread and butter, dude. It's so fun. Like we kind of joked around the first year, like, what's something we can do here? Because it's held at an amphitheater, and we build that secondary stage out right outside the amphitheater. And they were like, you know, what, rodeo could be really cool, and it fit the lineup that year. I think it was Cody Johnson and a few other guys. We started that, and yeah, it took off. And 3 4 years later, we're still doing it, and people show up at 2 3 p.m. and get there, and they get their front row seat to the rodeo before the concert started. It's a cool piece. That's something that you can go pay $50 to go see a rodeo at the arena, or you can pay $100 and it's included in your ticket. You can see 25, 30 artists. So it's small stuff that people remember and people want to come back for.
That's really cool. So what's next? You know, what's the most recent festival that's coming up, you know?
Yeah, I can say a little bit. I'm not going to. So we're bringing a new festival to Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Very similar to St. Pete Country Fest. It's completely on the water. It's a 25,000 cap per day. It's going to be called Outpost Music Fest. We're
Amazing.
going for more of the leaning into the country rock space and their full rock space than we are country. Of course, there's a lot of musical festivals and events that happen in Austin. So we're trying to find a way to really be different and really stick out and rock something that doesn't have a huge presence when it comes to live events there. So
Yeah.
we're going to incorporate some of your Treaty Oaks and your old 60s, like that type of music, but also go and try to figure out if there's a Creed available and kind of go that corn side and go some heavier names that are like, this is really sick and it actually works together. So we're very early stages. We were just out in Austin last week doing some venue prep, doing some city meetings, and in the next 3 4 weeks, it should come to light. And I think it's going to be a really cool announcement.
Amazing. So what's the best way to keep up with these festivals? You know, look out for announcements, that whole thing.
Yeah, so weirdly enough, everyone always asks me like, "Why don't you have one website?" And I don't know. Like Palmetto Entertainment forever had his website, and we just never kept up with it. But I kind of also look at it as like each of these festivals are such a big piece of kind of what makes Palmetto itself. So it's its own brand. So I mean, of course, following prime time's a huge example. We try to partner with some of the coolest social media pages, and whether it's just keeping up with new stage announcements, new giveaways, hotel packages, new festivals, I think that's probably the best way. Follow all these cool social media pages, of course our sister festivals and that sort of thing. We'll try to do some compliments and do some giveaways to other festivals once they complete. So just staying active on social media is the best way. They'll all have their own website and kind of have all the information on FAQs, tickets, hotel packages, things to do in the area, different stages being announced, so on and so forth.
Awesome. Well, before we get out of here, I got one fun question for you.
So,
What's the most memorable festival moment you've had, you know, in the last how many years you've been doing this?
man, I've had a few, but I think there's still one that takes the cake. 2022, 2023, we had Zach Bryan, Greenville Country Music Fest, and I was at the beach at another festival that I was helping with, Carolina Country Music Festival in Myrtle Beach.
Mhm.
And we had a deadline for Zach Bryan to give us an answer. So that's very early June. Our festival's in early or late October, early November. And I'm like, okay, we're 5 months out of here. We have no headliner. I'm like, I don't know what we're going to do. And of course, Zach Bryan popped out of nowhere within 2 or 3 months. And of course, he confirmed while I was there in June. And I think the coolest moment on site was outside of just everyone was gong ho about Zach Bryan. Festival blew out, completely sold out. Was being there in the pit 5 minutes into his set, it started just downpouring. And when I say like I've never, and it was early November, so it wasn't hot by any means. It wasn't cold, but it wasn't hot. All 15,000 people in that venue was so dialed into that show. Zach Bryan, of course, he has a song about it rained in Carolina, and that was the night before the weekend, same weekend after that he played Red Rocks and sold it out for the first time, and it snowed there. So he has it snowed in Red Rocks, rained in South Carolina, and that was just a really cool moment. He came off that stage. It was his first headline festival, and it's something that I'll remember forever. So
Well, that's awesome. Well, everyone, you can keep up with these announcements with the festivals through Primetime Country. You can also go follow the festivals themselves. They all have pages. Braxton, thanks for joining us, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, man. Let's do it again soon.
Absolutely. Primetime Country, we out. Sweet.
My
Uh,
guy.
That was easy, dude. Awesome.